Hello Year 6 and welcome to today's literacy video. As I'm talking, please make sure you're following along with the presentation. Today we're going to be looking at boxing up a plan of August's first day. Before we do that, there is a show not tell starter that I'd like you to have a go at. I'd like you to look at these following characteristics and work out what do you think, what's the emotion which these characteristics are displaying, and then same for this one, same for this one. Pause the video now and have a go, and let's go through the answers. So the first one is nervous, the second one is angry, and the third one is shy. So what has this got to do with today's learning? Today, as you're boxing up your plan, you're going to be thinking of emotions that August would have been feeling throughout his day. And rather than saying, I felt nervous, you are going to use the characteristics such as leg shaking, palm sweating, nail biting within your plan to show, not tell those emotions. So let's have a look at an example. We'll go through my example first. You can see the structure here. So paragraph 1. In this paragraph, I want you to include waking up, eating breakfast, preparing for school and leaving the house. Now remember, you are writing in the first person, so you will be using personal pronouns such as I, me. However, do not forget that you are in August's shoes, so you are writing from August's perspective. Let's have a look at my ideas for this one here. So I'm going to start by including the weather. I've woke up to cheerful bird song. You've got the early morning sun peering through the window. Realisation hit me. First day of school. Dragged myself downstairs. Forced myself to eat toast. Not hungry. Stomach spinning like a washing machine. Mum and dad really excited. Took photos of me and Via. I tried to look happy and hide nerves. You should notice this is not full sentences. Remember, it is not full sentences because it is a plan. Therefore, you can write it in note form. As we are going through my plan, you will see that I've included a number of the devices that we've looked at as part of our toolbox. I'm not going to tell you what those are. I want you to just think about, as I'm going through, oh, what device is that? What device is that one? And see how many I've included. Paragraph 2, journey to school and arrival. Before I knew it, time to leave. We all walked to school, familiar streets which felt unfamiliar, too many people. Beecher Prep came into view, hundreds of chatting children. Via reassured me that everyone was nervous. Group of girls stared at me but stopped when I spotted them. Mum hugged me, she was going to cry, quickly hugged her and darted off. Now you might notice that a lot of these ideas I have taken from the book, so the idea of the streets here, but then I've put my own spin on it, and that's what you can do too. You can use the book to help you fill in your plan, but then vocabulary such as darted, familiar streets which felt unfamiliar, those vocabulary and phrases, you can come up with those yourself. Let's look at the next one. Paragraph 3, so it's the start of the day, you've walked into the school, you're going to plan finding the homeroom, meeting Miss Potosa and introducing myself. Immediately dashed to my homeroom, 301, relieved that I'd gone on the tour, knew exactly where to go, kept head down and sat at desk in middle so children couldn't stare easily. Charlotte and Jack greeted me, felt a little better. Miss Potosa asked us to introduce ourselves. Beads of sweat formed on forehead. Tried to hide shaking hands. Julian noticed my braid and suggested I liked Darth Sidious. Why would he say that to me? So you can see here, this is an example, shaking hands. So by including that, what emotion is it clear that I, August, am feeling at that point in time? Now, if you are using the book to help you form your ideas, you will notice that in paragraph 3, you could have included lots of different things. You do not need to include all of them. You can choose what you think are the most pivotal, the most important points of that chapter. So I have gone for the meeting Miss Potosi, the introducing myself, and you'll notice here the part where Julian is actually quite nasty to August without the class or the teacher realising. So you do not need to include everything which happens in the book, just what you think are the interesting parts. Paragraph 4. So in this paragraph, we're going to be looking at the English lesson and lunchtime. Sprinted to English lesson. Jack sat next to me. Nobody else did. What a shock. Mr. Brown, cool teacher, told us our precept for the month. Realised I was going to like school no matter what happens. Eventually lunchtime. Tried to be invisible despite noticing stares. Filled with surprise. Girl called Summer sat next to me. Chatted to me the whole time. Brief moment in time. Forgot I was different. That's paragraph 4. And let's look at an example for paragraph 5. So paragraph 5 is all about going home, the cutting off of the braid. That's obviously significant because August does that as a direct result of what Julian says to him earlier on in the day. And then the mom reading The Hobbit at the end. Finally home time. Mom met me at the gate, full of questions, didn't feel like talking, really mad at her. Cut off braid when I got home. Via got angry. What's it got to do with her? Mom tried to read me some of The Hobbit, collapsed in tears, full of shame. And then the last paragraph. Now remember, the last paragraph of the diary entry is always a reflection on the day, and it's the only part of the diary entry which is then written in present tense at the end, because it looks to the next day and what the hopes are for the next day. Hardest day I've ever had. Family don't know what it's like to be me. Really enjoyed Mr. Brown's class and summer seems nice. Just hoping that Julian leaves me alone and the other kids stop staring. Fingers crossed tomorrow will be better. Okay, year 6, so that is your task for today. I want you to complete the boxed up plan of August's first day, and remember you're writing from his point of view. As I said earlier on in the video, you can use the book to help you to guide what you're putting in each paragraph. You don't need to stick to it exactly. I didn't stick to it exactly. You can add your own creative ideas to it. And make sure you don't try and include all of what happens in the chapter. Just like my example, which I'll put on the Purple Mash blog to help you, not for you to copy, you don't need to include it all. Just pick what you think are the most significant events. If you've got any questions, make sure you ask on Purple Mash. And I'm really looking forward to reading your plans. Have a great day.